What's up, guys? Welcome back, and let me tell you, I have a great show for you today. Might be my best show I've done since I started doing this channel. It will certainly be the best show of this football season. Lots of info to touch up on, stuff that you really want to know if you're risking your hard-earned money on these games. You ain't got to agree with me, but you definitely need to be in the know. Now, I typically start off the week with early games. This time's a little different. We're going to break down just one early game and focus mainly on the late games in this installment of Week 15 picks. A couple marquee matchups that you definitely want to be in the know about. And also, be sure to fill out the poll questions on the top right of the screen. They'll pop up every 10 seconds. It's your chance. It's your opportunity to actually have a voice. I'll never silence my fans and my critics. I'll never take down my comment wall like some other folks out there we know. These polls and comment section, it's a chance for you to connect with me and actually be the voice of reason. So don't forget to answer the poll questions. I really want to hear what you have to say. And without any further ado, here's what I have to say. I'm going to jump into my first game for the video. And let's start out with that bizarre Saturday night NFL football game. I love that every year. I'm talking about a real big marquee matchup in Chargers-Chiefs. This one's going to kick off at 8:25 at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Chiefs opened up as the 1-point favorite with a total at 46.5. Since that betting opened up, no movement on the spread. We did see a move on the total, just a slight one. Total moved downward to 46 flat. And right now, in the early going, 60% of the money's favoring the Chargers. So look for this one to get down to a pick'em real soon. And to be honest with you, I think we'll have line moves on this game all week long. We'll probably see a couple flips and mostly see that line bounce between a pick and 1.5 points either way. Now, if you're favoring the Chargers in this one, why the hell wouldn't you? These guys have been awesome covering the number as of late. Here's 3 reasons why you'd want to lean towards the Chargers in this one. Reason number 1, they're hot. They're actually 3-1 ATS in their last 4, and they're also 7-2 against the spread in their last 9. Absolute covering machines. In addition to all that, the Chargers are also on a 4-game winning streak in the outright game. Now, reason number 2 to think the Chargers will get the job done, they're great on the road. Chargers against the spread are 5-1 on the road, covering 83% of their games when traveling. They're also an impressive 4-1 against the spread as the official road underdog. That's 80% covering when catching the points away from home, which is exactly what's going on in this game. And reason number 3, they're just a good covering team in general. This Charger squad is 8-5 against the spread overall, 5-2 covering as the dog, 3-0 covering versus teams around 500. Plus, they're going up against a Kansas City team who not only has been cold lately, but has covered just 5 of 11 games as the official Vegas favorite. So if you're leaning toward the Chargers in this one, I certainly made the case for you. Might not be a bad play catching a point on the road. Now, scoring-wise, this total opened a little high in my opinion. I think it will get bet down throughout the week. For some reason, I think this one will close out at about 45.5 to 45. 44.5 to 45. But regardless, we haven't seen a whole lot of scoring in these Charger games. They went 3-0 to the under in their last trio. And this stingy Chargers D has held their opponents to just 9 points a game on average in those unders. Meanwhile, on the other side, very similar story as Kansas City games went 3-1 to the unders in their last 4 themselves. They've actually played some pretty good defense in those unders as well. They were losses, by the way, but the Chiefs D gave up just 14 points per game on average in those 3 unders. So not sure where this game's going. I definitely don't have a good beat on the total, although if you held a gun to my head, which I know a lot of you out there would, but if you held a gun to my head, I'd lean toward the under in this one. And certainly picking a winner's going to be tough because Kansas City's actually gone 3-1 covering versus teams around 500 themselves. But you know what? Wasn't going to make a play on this game, was going to sit this one out, but I think we've got enough info. I think we got enough info total-wise to get a little scratch in the contest. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's make a play on the under. All told, I'm going to pray for some defense and take the under 46 in this one. All right, next game, another huge matchup, divisional matchup, playoff implications LA Rams at Seattle, 4:05 Eastern start this Sunday at CenturyLink Field. Seattle's -1 with the total opening up at 48.5 points. Wow, I think that total opened up pretty high for a divisional rivalry at this point in the season. Really high at this point in the season because points come at a premium. So it seems to me that this total of 48.5 points is a little reckless. I'd like to expose that overinflation. Before last night's shootout at the Coliseum, Rams games actually went 3-1 to the under in their previous 4. Their defense was giving up just 17 points a game on average in those unders. Certainly good enough defense for the high-powered scoring potential of the Rams. Meanwhile, on the other side, very similar story with these Seattle games, just not a lot of scoring. Seattle games went 2-1 to the under in their last 3. 6-3 to the under in their last 9. 12 points on average they gave up in those last 6 unders as well. Right off the bat, I'm just going to let you know that I will be making a play on the total in this one, and I will be favoring the defenses. But the total is not why most of you guys are here watching me. You guys want to know who I think will win? Well, I'll tell you this much. This one's going to be a tough one to pick, and I'm actually kind of shading towards a Seattle 1-point cover, and here's why. Reason number 1. Strength of their most recent schedule. Seattle's gone 2-1 against the spread in their last 3, but they also faced Jacksonville, Philly, and Atlanta in 3 of their last 4 games. They went 2-2 straight up in their last 4. So to play 500 ball in your most recent 4 games with those 3 teams in the mix is pretty impressive. And garnering yourself 2 covers in the process is just the icing on the cake. Very stiff competition in the last few. Now, reason number 2, Seattle covers when favored. So far in the year, the Seahawks went 4-3 against the spread as the official Vegas favorite. It's no small task covering nearly 60% of their games when giving up points, and they actually beat the Rams by 6 points in their previous meeting. And reason number 3 for Seattle bettors to think the Hawks will cover. The Seattle defense. Now, despite yesterday's loss out in Jacksonville, Seattle gave up just 11 points a game on average in their previous 2 before that. They also gave up a measly 10 points to the Rams in their first gathering. The Rams have also struggled to cover immensely versus teams allowing less than 21 points a game. In that very category, the Rams have covered just 3 of 7 matchups going up against those good defenses. And of course, their opponents this week fall right in that category. And if you think I'm nuts leaning toward the Seahawks in this one, just keep in mind that their opponents, the LA Rams, have failed to cover 2 of 3 games that kicked off at the current posted total. I know that's a weird stat, but keep that in mind as well. And all said and done, like I said earlier, it's going to be a tough one to pick a winner, and this one can certainly go either way. And hey, listen, if you're fading away from the Seahawks in this one, can't blame Rams bettors for choosing their side either. I mean, hell, they're 5-2 against the spread on the road this year. But all told, I am fading away from a play on the sides in this one. I'm once again finding myself favoring a play on another total. So all told, I'm going to make a play on the points and take the under 48.5 in this one. All right, next game, another banger. Don't need to preface this one too much. You know exactly who these teams are, and you know exactly what they're capable of. I'm talking about New England at Pittsburgh, and believe it or not, there's a lot of experts out there saying that the AFC title goes through Pittsburgh. Well, we're not going to find out in this game, or maybe, who knows. The Patriots are notoriously just so cerebral that they're very capable of installing a completely foreign game plan just for this game. I can't imagine these two teams not facing each other in the AFC Championship this year. But regardless, when it comes to this matchup, New England opened as the 1-point favorite in this game. No number on the total yet. Could be from potential weather or injuries. I know New England's had Edelman, Bennett, Malcolm Mitchell, Hightower, Ebner on the sidelines for a little bit. But anyway, like I said, this one opened New England -1 against the spread. They took all the early money, the bettors and the markets. Maybe a combination of both has moved this one up to New England -2.5. Now, Pittsburgh's been hot as of late. They look great. Another thriller last night over Baltimore. But unfortunately for Steelers bettors, they're facing a New England team this week. And I have more reasons to think that the Pats will cover than the Steelers. And reason number 1, the Patriots travel well. And as a matter of fact, this Patriots squad travels and covers. New England on the road, 5-1 against the spread. They successfully covered the spread in literally 5 of 6 games this year. That's 83% for you math nerds. And they're also 5-1 against the spread as the official road favorite. Reason number 2, they've been laying points all year. Out of New England's 12 games so far, they've been favored for all 12 of them. And for a team that's giving up nearly double digits on average in their last 4 contests, these guys are covering machines. Right now, the New England Patriots are at 8-4 against the spread as the official Vegas favorite. They're covering nearly 70% of their time when laying the points. And conversely, this Patriots team has gone 8-4 overall against the spread for the year. Reason number 3, Pittsburgh's ice cold against the number as of late. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let me tell you. The Steelers are currently on a 3-game losing streak against the spread. They failed to cover their last trio of games. Even worse, 2 of their failures to cover came at the hands of Cincinnati and Green Bay. And despite Pittsburgh's current 8-game win streak in the outright game, the Steelers have failed to cover the spread in 4 of their last 5. But if you're leaning toward Pittsburgh in this one, you can certainly take solace in the fact that if these current betting trends continue, you'll probably end up catching another point or two by kickoff. So, and their games have been close. So, now total-wise in this one, once again, I told you, we have no posted total, but just for your edification, we've seen a lot of points in these Pittsburgh games. They went 4-0 to the over in their last 4. Meanwhile, a little bit different story on the New England side. Their games went 2-1 to the under in their last 3, 6-2 to the under in their last 8. So I'm not sure where this one will open up at. Just know that New England's held their opponents to just 11 points a game on average in their last 4 matchups. All said and done, though, I am definitely favoring a play on the spread in this one. And as you can tell, I'm leaning heavily toward the Patriots. All told, I'm going to buy the hook and take New England -2, getting the job done against the spread. All right, next and final game for the show. Dallas at Oakland. Dallas still alive in this NFC wildcard race, even though Philly already locked up the NFC East. But as far as this game goes, Dallas opened 1.5, took some early money, now sits at -2.5. Total open 45, got bet up to 46. And at the moment, Oakland's taking just 37% of the public action, so look for them to catch another half a point or so if that betting trend continues. Not going to sugarcoat it. I'm leaning toward Dallas in this one, and here's why. Reason number 1, Oakland is a bona fide, as the guys in the desert would say, foreclosure team. These guys can't cover for shiznit, depending on where you're shopping at. 4-9 overall against the spread, 2-4 as the underdog, 1-5 covering in their last 6. The Raiders have also gone 0-3 covering against teams with a record around 500. Reason number 2 for Cowboys bettors, they're heating up. This Dallas squad has successfully covered the spread in their last 2 matchups, divisional games, might I add. And they actually won those games by an average of 22 points per contest, just absolutely decimated their last 2 opponents. And reason number 3 for Cowboys bettors, they are proverbial road warriors against the spread. These guys travel well. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys have gone 4-2 against the spread in all their road games, covering nearly 70% away from Jerry World. Now, even better, this Dallas ball club is a very impressive 4-1 against the spread as the official road favorite. That's 80% covering not only on the road, but giving up points on the road as well. Now, on a side note, this Dallas team has been favored in 9 of their 13 games on the year. Out of those 9 games, they successfully covered 6 of them, laying the points. Very impressive numbers when favored, nearly 70%. So all those numbers in mind, you can certainly see why most bettors are leaning toward the Cowboys in this one. But obviously, you got to play the game, so we shall see. Now, scoring-wise, I'm not going to make a play on the total in this one. Once again, total open 45, got bet up to 46, moved upward a whole point. So I'm tempting to think that this one stays under. I'm actually anticipating a drubbing of the Raiders in this one. But if you like scoring, you really haven't seen much of it in both of these teams' games. Dallas games went 3-1 to the under in their last 4. Oakland games 4-0 to the under in their last 4 themselves. I think the public's going to continue to bet this one up. So if you're leaning toward the under, just give it some time and let the public bet this one up a little bit more. I think it's going to happen throughout the week. But despite having very heavy trends toward the under in this one, I'm not all that concerned with the play on the total. I do really like the Cowboys in this spot to cover here on the road, though. So all told, I'm going to obviously buy the hook here, move it down, and take the Dallas Cowboys -2, getting the job done against the number. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, be sure to fill out the poll questions on the top of the screen at the beginning of the video if you haven't already done that. It's a lot of fun. It's your chance to have a voice and let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to answer the poll question in the comments section too. You can really unload there. I really want to hear what you have to say when it comes to the poll question. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.